Yeah, how's it going, guys? Back for another episode of The Final Whistle, and today we're going to be starting a new series called Road to the Euros. I really wanted to make this series because I think it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen this summer because there's some very interesting groups, and today in the last couple of days we finally saw the 26-man roster, a couple of bigger nations coming out, France, Germany, and Spain, and etc. And I'm going to kick off my new series. We're talking about France and talking about their odds of winning the Euros, their squad, some of their notable players missing. And I'm going to start off with their squad first of all. The three goalies they're taking is Steve Mandanda from Marseille, Mike Maignan and from Los Lille, and Hugo Lloris from Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, Hugo Lloris is going to start here for Tottenham, and for France, and he's probably going to be the captain. For me, I'd be going with Mike Maignan from Los Lille. I think he's a shoe-in if you're really looking at a guy who's probably going to win League 1. I've talked about Lille multiple times, and I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. We've seen it multiple games, week in and week out with Los Lille. Kept him in. He's obviously going to be a winner this year, which Hugo Lloris has not won anything. He's not won squat since the World Cup, and he won with France. And I think Mike Maignan is just the guy to choose here. They're obviously going to go with Hugo Lloris, but you got three fantastic goalkeepers if anyone gets injured. Obviously, Steve Mandanda is just there for the ride and for the plane trip. But we'll move on to the defenders. We got Leo Dubois from Lyon, Benjamin Pavard from Bayern Munich, Kurt Zuma from Chelsea, Raphael Varane from Real Madrid, Clement Lenglet from Barcelona, Presnel Kimpembe from PSG, Lucas Digne from Everton, Lucas Hernandez from Bayern Munich, and Jules Koundé from Sevilla. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 center backs there. You got unbelievable depth, and we'll talk about some of the guys that are leaving back, which is unbelievable. Some of the names that are leaving back, but I really don't know who he's going to start here. I think Varane's a shoe-in, but it really is going to depend who you're playing against. Obviously, you want to. I would be playing Varane and probably Jules Koundé. You got your two La Liga stars right there. One who's very experienced, and Raphael Varane, who's won many trophies, Champions Leagues, La Ligas, Super Cups, lots of things like that. He's very quick, very good on the ball. And you got the likes of Jules Koundé, who's unbelievable. He's very young, very talented. Talks of going to Manchester United, other teams like that. And he's very fast, very smart on the ball. And I think they got a tremendous back line here. And then I see them lining up Lucas Digne on the left side. He's been unbelievable for Everton this year. Probably their player of the season, in my opinion. And you could easily see them go a bit. Obviously, I think it's going to be Benjamin Pavard. I think Pavard's been unbelievable. We saw it last year. We saw it last World Cup. He was fantastic, scoring that unbelievable goal against Argentina. And Pavard's just a shoe-in, and same with Lucas Digne and center backs. It's anyone's picks. They got so many good center backs. I wish you luck choosing both the two that are going to start in their first game, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes here. But like I said, they have so many great options there. Midfield, they have so many great options, but they didn't take as many players as I expected them to. They took Florentin Tolisso from Bayern Munich, N'Golo Kante, Paul Pogba, Adrien Rabiot, and Moussa Sissoko. I think they're going to go with the midfield too. You're going to probably see Paul Pogba line up beside N'Golo Kante, give you more attacking options, probably play with two wingers and two strikers, give you a lot more attacking options, and really Paul Pogba spraying those balls around, getting forward, giving them another option, and you have him able to drop back and work hard. And you have N'Golo Kante, who is on his bike. He's not going to stop running. He's going to work tirelessly to help out Paul Pogba around the pitch and where he can and help out the back line. And then Moussa Sissoko, a great sub. I had a friend saying to me, why wasn't Houssam Aouar there? I'll talk about him in a couple minutes, but I think he's not there because Adrien Rabiot's getting ahead of him, and I think Rabiot's there because he gives you something else that none of those midfielders have. Maybe Tolisso is a bit of it, but Rabiot's a taller, physical, more defensive presence. He could come on for Conte. He could play in a game like Germany or Portugal, and he can just be that strong physical presence in the middle, which they will need defensively, because Paul Pogba is obviously a tall physical presence, but he doesn't work defensively as much of a Adrien Rabiot or a Tolisso. And Rabiot just gives you that different kind of style, a different kind of play style when you need it in the late game or you need it later in the final. Moving on to the forwards, you got Olivier Giroud, Kylian Mbappe, Wissam Ben Yedder, Kingsley Coman, Ousmane Dembele, Antoine Griezmann, Thomas Lemar, and Marcus Thuram. Thuram's been unbelievable for his club, but I don't think we'll see him too often. They have too many unbelievable attackers. Antoine Griezmann will probably start. You'll probably see Ousmane Dembele and Kingsley Coman on each wing with Karim Benzema and Mbappe or Griezmann up top. One of those three are going to start. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with it, Karim Benzema. Obviously, he's been away for 6 years from the French national side. There's obviously been that conflict going on between him, Didier Deschamps, and the rest of the French Union. But for him to come back after 6 years is a statement. I feel like they're going to play him, but who are you leaving out to play Antoine Griezmann? Are you going to move to play Benzema? Are you going to move Griezmann to a wing? Are you going to move Kylian Mbappe to the left wing or the right wing and play Griezmann and Benzema up top? You have so many different options with this French team, and it's unbelievable to see because this team has so much talent. And for any team going up against it, sorry, I might have the team up on another tab, but for any team going up against it, your defense is you're gonna have to play a near perfect game. You're gonna have a 95% game to beat this French team, or this French team is just gonna have to have one of those days where they just don't link up, the chemistry's not there, and they don't turn up. But I can see Kingsley Coman on the left, Ousmane Dembele on the right, and Kylian Mbappe and Karim Benzema up top, because I don't see why you're going to recall Karim Benzema and have him sit on the bench and be a super sub. It just would make absolutely no sense for me. So I see Karim Benzema is going to watch for Karim Benzema. I think he's going to be that outstanding player that people, I mean, you're going to expect him to have a tournament because it's Karim Benzema. He's just that unbelievable guy for Real Madrid. But coming back into the team, I think he's going to prove France wrong and prove everyone wrong and why he should have been in the team. Not prove everyone wrong, really. I mean, prove Didier Deschamps wrong in the French Union because he never deserved to be out of the team for 6 years. And I want to move to the notable players that they're leaving out. Obviously, Alphonse Areola, who played for Fulham, he had a great year. He's being left out. He's still a young goalkeeper, but he's never going to get in ahead of the likes of Mike Mainan and Steve Mandanda and Hugo Lloris. So I won't talk about him too much. Ferland Mendy, yes, you can talk about him being left out. He's being left out because of injury. You could say, oh, he's being left out. Why is he being left out? It's because of injury, guys. Don't stress that Mendy's being left out. I'm sure if Mendy would have been fully healthy, I'm sure he would have been a shoo-in because defensively he's unbelievable. And moving on, like I said, you got so much talent at center back. French national team is leaving out the likes of Ibrahima Konaté from Red Bull Leipzig, who is already signed an agreement to go to Liverpool. So Liverpool's new center back and ex-Red Bull Leipzig center back. And they're also leaving out Deo Upamecano, who's also another Red Bull Leipzig center back from this year and is joining Bayern Munich. It's crazy to think that they're leaving out these two because they're two unbelievably young talents, but I do understand why they're leaving them out to a certain extent because, yes, they're unbelievable, but they're so young. You're bringing the likes of Clement Lenglet. Kurt Zouma might be still young, but he has so much winning experience and so many top level games under Chelsea. Clement Lenglet, Raphael Varane. Koundé is just an exceptional talent. You can't compare Koundé to these guys, I don't think. You compare him to Upamecano, yes. Konaté is just a step down from Upamecano and Koundé. But they have so much talent there, I don't think you can really complain about those two guys being out. Theo Hernandez, this is the one position where I was really shocked. Even my friend was texting me why Dubois was in this squad. He's a Lyon fan, and he couldn't understand why Theo Hernandez was left out. I don't really understand it either. Maybe they want to go with some more defensive capability, because obviously Lucas Digne would be starting for the French national team. I don't think Theo Hernandez gets ahead of him. And it's going to be interesting to see how Dubois fits in here. I don't see him playing at all. And Lucas Hernandez obviously going to... What am I saying here? Lucas Digne will play every game. And you have Lucas Hernandez, Theo's brother, also in the squad. So he could also feature, too, at left back. And he could also feature at center back. That's how versatile this French team is. But yeah, that's one of the ones that I'm more so surprised. You also have the likes of Eduardo Camavinga and Tanguy Ndombele. I'm not really surprised those guys left out. Ndombele hasn't had a good season at all, and Camavinga is just too young to make it into this French side for the amount of players they're already taking. You could say Nabil Fekir, Houssem Aouar. Houssem Aouar is probably the most shocking guy left out, but like I said and explained earlier, Rabiot is just a more smarter and more intelligent player for Didier Deschamps to take at this moment in time. And forwards, like I said, you have so much talent up there. You're leaving out also Lacazette and Anthony Martial. Martial's been ruined by injuries. I'm not surprised that he's not going. He hasn't had a good season at all when he's been healthy, and Lacazette's been hit and miss. He has 13 Premier League goals, but I still don't think that's good in a floundering... He's still good in a floundering Arsenal side, but it's not better than the likes of Wissam Ben Yedder and Marcus Thuram, who are your lower-end French strikers. And while I move on now to their group and talking about their games and where I think they're going to finish to wrap up the video here. France has been into the worst group possible. There's always your group of death in a tournament. In football, you always talk about that group of death. And they've been drawn into the absolute worst group possible, the group of death, mega group of death. This is probably the most interesting group ever, in my opinion, in Euros or World Cup. You're seeing France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. People don't even want to sleep on Hungary. I think Dominic Szoboszlai is going to have a talking point in one of these games. You might say Hungary are weaker than all the other teams. Yes, obviously they are. But Dominic Szoboszlai for Hungary, I'll do another video for Hungary, but I think give him a chance, and I think one of those big three teams are going to be upset by Dominic Szoboszlai, and I don't think it's going to be France, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So I still see France coming first in their group. I don't think they're gonna walk it. I see them losing one of the games, or even getting a good draw, because you're still playing Germany and Portugal, who are unbelievable, and Hungary are still in there with a shout. You can't put back an underdog team like that with one unbelievable talented team. They play France first game in Munich, which is tough, very tough. I think they're going to be the toughest opponent. And actually, I feel like they won't be the toughest opponent to them, but it's going to be a very good game at the Allianz Arena. I think that's the game where they might screw up or they might slip up, especially the first one. I see a draw in this one. Moving on to the second game, they're also away in Budapest, and they are playing Hungary in the Puskás Arena. I see them winning now, obviously. I think it's going to be a pretty good margin for them. And then the last game of the tournament, they are playing Portugal at Budapest. So it's a fair game arena. It's neutral, really neutral here. I think Portugal are going to be a really, really good, strong test. I see them both making out of the group. I won't spoil that for my next video coming out one of the other teams. But I see France picking up two wins and a draw here, coming out on 7 points and coming out first in the group. I'm not going to talk about goal differential or points or goals against and goals for or whatnot, but yeah, it's going to be, I see France, I'll be honest, I see France winning the tournament. I really do. The team they have is going to be unbeatable. Like I said, they really got to slip up on their own, or a team's got to play a near perfect game or a perfect game to beat them, or else France is just going to have one of those days where injuries and COVID hits them, and they just can't make it, and they aren't going to be good enough. Or they have one of the games like River Plate had this weekend where you have 20 plus positive cases. But it would have to be a real horror show for, I think, France to win, or they'd have to come up against your likes of Spain or England even. And it's going to be a very interesting tournament. Guys, that's my opinion on the French national team squad, the 26-man roster that was submitted yesterday, and the notable absences that I noticed coming out too. And that's my opinion on the group and where they will finish. I got them winning the Euros 2020 or 2021, however you want to call it. But France are my Euro 2020 winners. Yeah, I'm spoiling it a bit early, but I think I had to make this video. It's quite fun. Guys, I hope you enjoy this new series idea, Road to the Euro 2020. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what national team you want to see next before I do my next video tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoy this series idea. And let me know what you think. And I'll be back tomorrow for another one. See you guys. See you then.